We have placed the top 15 current Canadian NBA players on the Toronto Raptors to see how many championships we can win over the next few seasons. We do have ourselves the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We do have Jamal Murray, Dillon Brooks, RJ Barrett, Shaedon Sharpe, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zach Edey, Keyshawn George, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, Andrew Wiggins, Will Riley, Luke Dort, Brandon Clark, and Oliver Max Prosper. Right now, our player minutes are all over the place because we have one too many guards, as you guys can see here. So what we will be doing is changing up some positions. I will be changing Dillon Brooks' position from small forward to power forward. He does drop in overall, but that is all right. And then we'll change Nickeil Alexander-Walker from shooting guard to small forward, where he jumps up to an 85 overall. Before I give a quick rundown of the rotation, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and hype the video. That really does support out the channel and video a ton. And now in our starting lineup, we have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dillon Brooks, and Zach Edey. And then off the bench, we have RJ Barrett, Shaedon Sharpe, Keyshawn George, Andrew Nembhard, Andrew Wiggins, and Brandon Clark. We are going to be running an 11-man rotation. That will leave some players out of this rotation, but honestly that's okay, because if there's a player in this rotation not playing well, we could always sub them out for one of these players here. And now let's simulate the first few games to see how our team does. The first game is up against the Atlanta Hawks, who we go on to lose against. Okay, so we fall short here, 134 to 109. I mean, chemistry probably still does need to be built. We have a completely different roster, so that's probably why, but we do go on to defeat the Milwaukee Bucks 116 to 95. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 26, 7, and 6, as well as 7 stocks. Zach Edey 17, 14 from Brooks, and 10 from Jamal Murray. Now let's see if we could go on to defeat the Dallas Mavericks as well. And whoa, we lost 2 out of the first 3 games, which is a huge surprise. We are going to be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Darko Rajakovic. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And now I am going to start simulating until the end of this season. And of course, we're not going to be making any trades. And another thing I did forget to mention is in the NBA draft, if there's a player that's Canadian, we will be able to draft them. Any player we draft has to be Canadian as well. Let's simulate the next 2 weeks and see if we can get a win streak going here. Chemistry still is being built, but hopefully we start doing better. And there we go. We win the last 5 games. That is what I'm talking about. Can we win the next 2? We do defeat the Atlanta Hawks, but lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. We scored 157 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Whoa. Jamal Murray had 27, 25 from Shai, and 21 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win an MVP, Cooper Flagg Rookie of the Year, Josh Giddey 6-man, Wemby also winning Defensive Player, Quetta wins Most Improved, Devin Booker Clutch Player, our head coach Darko Rajakovic wins Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections, and we do land Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on an All-NBA third team. Do we get anybody here on an All-Defensive team? No, we do not. But that's alright because we ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 65 games and losing only 17. Before we start simulating here in the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at our player stats. So our leading scorer was none other than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging 24 points per game. 21 from Jamal Murray, 13.5 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 12 from Dillon Brooks, and 11 from RJ Barrett. I was thinking, why is Shai not scoring as many buckets as he usually does, but then I realized this team has a lot of bucket getters. When you have 11 players going out there and hooping, getting their buckets, of course the top player is not going to be averaging 30 points per game like he would have on an average 9-man team, 9-man rotation. Now here in the first round, we are taking on the Brooklyn Nets, and they have themselves Nolan Traore, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Josh Minot, and Nick Claxton. I'm not sure how this team made the playoffs, but they did. Let's go ahead and simulate the round because I feel like we're going to sweep them. We did not sweep them, but we do go on to defeat them in Game 5. And so far, Shai in the playoffs is averaging 32 points per game. That is what I like to see. 18 from Murray, 12 from Nah, 12 from Dillon Brooks, and 9 from Zach Edey. I do hope throughout this video we're able to at least draft ourselves one good center that's a Canadian. That would be amazing because currently we do need some center depth. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have themselves James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen with Drew Holiday as their 6th man. Alrighty, let's see if we're also able to win here in the second round of the playoffs, and we go on to get eliminated by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, that was honestly unexpected. I thought we were going to walk through the Cleveland Cavaliers, but clearly that was not the case. Maybe we're going to have to upgrade our head coaching position this offseason. That's definitely something we will look into. But now let's go ahead and simulate past the playoffs and see which team goes on to win the championship. In the NBA Finals, we have the Timberwolves taking on the Cavs, and the Cavs go on to win with Evan Mobley winning Finals MVP. It does make me feel a little bit better that the team that eliminated us did go on to win the championship, so currently they are the best team basically in the entire NBA, so I can live with that. Let's go ahead and take a look at player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 11 games, and in those 11 games, Shea was balling out, averaging 27 points per game. 18 from Murray, 13 from Naw, and 12 from Dillon Brooks. We are going to fire our current head coach, Darko Rajakovic. Let's go ahead and get rid of him, and we're going to bring in this dude here, Michael Stauffer, who's basically the GOAT of all GOATs. He has a 5-star rating in every single category, as you guys can see there on the bottom left of the screen, with a bunch of Hall of Fame and gold badges. I was taking a look at the 2026 NBA draft, and from my knowledge, there's not a single NBA player here that's Canadian, which does kind of suck because I was wanting to draft ourselves a good young rookie. But I do know in next year's offseason, there's going to be a 7'9" big man by the name of Oliver, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Oliver Rioux, who's a 7'9" big man who's going to be entering the NBA. So he's definitely a player we're going to be drafting. We do have ourselves a 30th overall pick and the second round 30th overall pick, but we're going to trade these away for future second rounders since we do not need to draft anybody here. Team player options, of course, we will be picking up the team option for Zach Edey and Oliver Max Prosper, both Canadian players here. I don't think we need to re-sign any of our players. We do have them on long-term contracts, and the players that were not on long-term contracts, I went ahead and extended them. Alrighty, we are here at the start of the second season, and I am planning on changing up a few things which are with our coaching decision. So we are going to be running a 10-man rotation over that 11-man rotation we were running last year. We will make help defense up to 60, 75 for run plays frequency. I do want to play through stars, so playing through Shai Gilgeous-Alexander I think would be the best thing possible. Offensive rebounding, some players crash, others get back, defensive focus, neutral. And I do want our team players playing physical defense, and I like this so far. With defensive rebounding, we will leave at run in transition. I have now fixed up the player minutes, and in our starting lineup, we currently have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dillon Brooks, and Zach Edey. And then off the bench, we have RJ Barrett, Shaedon Sharpe, Andrew Wiggins, Keyshawn George, and Andrew Nembhard. We are going to be running small ball here. We don't have ourselves a backup center, which is why I want to draft a good backup center in the NBA draft, which hopefully Oliver Rioux does end up becoming. Let's see if he's in this up-and-coming draft, which I do believe he is. And yes, he is. He's right here. Oliver Rioux, C overall. He is about 7'9", but the limit in 2K is 7'7", which is why that's what he's listed at. And now let's simulate the first few weeks and see how our team does. So in the first week, we end up winning all 3 games, which is pretty huge. And it looks like our team has been doing well. But now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where I'll see you guys at the awards. I did forget to mention, we are rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under our brand new head coach, Michael Stauffer. Hopefully our new head coach is able to take us to that championship land. At the end of this season, Cade Cunningham goes on to win an MVP, AJ Debonsa Rookie of the Year, DeJounte Murray 6-man, Wemby Defensive Player, Cooper Flag Most Improved. Bro went from averaging 18 points per game all the way to 28. That is pretty insane. And then we have Luka Doncic winning Clutch Player, JB Bickerstaff Coach of the Year, and we win Executive, even though we made no changes to our roster. I'm not sure how we won that. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections. No Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That is crazy. Okay, so yeah, we do not get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on an All-NBA team, even though this season he played better than the season prior. Do we get anyone here on an All-Defensive team? No, we don't. So we get absolutely no awards, and we ended this season as a number 2 seed right behind the Detroit Pistons with 61 wins and 21 losses. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the regular season. So as I said, Shai has been doing better than the season prior. He was averaging 3 more points than he did last season. So I'm not sure why he did not make an All-NBA team. but he played amazing, 27 points per game on 50, 40, 89 shooting splits. 20 points per game from Murray, 13 from RJ Barrett, 12 from Nickel, 12 from Dillon Brooks, and 11 from Shaedon Sharpe. And now it is time for the playoffs, and in the first round, we are taking on the Orlando Magic. They have themselves the same exact starting lineup: Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and Wendell. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Shea dropping 38 points, 22 from Murray, and 19 from Nickel. We do also go on to win game 2. We do lose game 3. We win game 4 here. How much? We won 145 to 140. Okay, Shea had himself a 36-point double-double. Wait a second, did I see Edie with 32 points and 19 rebounds? Let's go. Can we gentlemen sweep the Magic? And yes, we can. We defeat them here in game 5, 112 to 90. And now we have made it to the second round of the playoffs. So far, Shea is averaging 28, 20 from Murray, 9 from Nickel. Whoa, he's been struggling big time from the three-point line. 12 points from Keyshawn George, 15-point double-double from Zach Edey. Let's go ahead and take a look at the New York Knicks roster. They have themselves the same starting lineup: Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. They were the number 3 seed, so they are a really good team. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Murray dropping 30, 25 from Shea. Game number 2, we go on to win. Game 3, we do end up falling short here, 128 to 111. Can we win game 4? And yes, we can. We win game 4, 131 to 115. Shea dropping 33, 9, and 7. And are we going to gentlemen sweep the New York Knicks? Yes, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made the Eastern Conference Finals, and now we are taking on the Atlanta Hawks. They have themselves Mikel Brown Jr., Dyson Daniels, Zachary Risache, Jalen Johnson, and Kristaps Porzingis. And here are the player stats for the second round against New York Knicks. We had a bunch of players in double-digit scoring. Let's see how we do here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game number 1, we do go on to win. Shea going off for 42 points, 24 from Nickel on his former team. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Shea 23, 22 from RJ Barrett. Game number 3, we do fall short. Game 4, we also fall short, and now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. So what I'm going to do is come up with the defensive coach game plan, and then we'll advance to game 5. Alrighty, a defensive coach game plan has been set. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's jump into Simcast here, where we do have home court advantage for game 5. And so far, we do not have the lead. We take it from them. We're up 108 to 103, 2 minutes remaining, and it looks like we will be winning 115 to 112. Shea had 36, 15 from Brooks, and 15 from Zach Edey. I did make adjustment in our starting lineup. Dillon Brooks will be starting so he can guard Jalen Johnson. Can we close things out here in game 6? Let's see. We will be jumping into Simcast once again. This time the Hawks have home court advantage. It looks like we are going to be losing 129 to 120. We almost came back in the second half, but sadly they still defeat us by 9 points. Shea had 33, 28 from Murray, but we do fall short. It looks like Jalen Johnson is basically the main problem on their team. He is their best offensive player, and our defense wasn't all that good in this game as well. We allowed them to score nearly 130 points. We are in a winner-go-home situation. It looks like the Spurs have already made the NBA Finals. Can we defeat the Hawks here to make it to the Finals? Let's find out. We will have home court advantage here for Game 7, and so far we do have the lead. We start off the first half really strong, and it looks like we will be winning 132 to 101. Shea had himself 30 points, 21 from Murray, and 17 from Shaedon Sharpe. Victor Wembanyama goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Before we start simulating the NBA Finals, I do want to fill you guys in on a little rule change that I made for this video. Since I said we're only going to be able to draft ourselves Canadians, but there's not many Canadians actually in the NBA draft, so we're going to be making every single player in the NBA draft computer-generated bots. And whoever we decide to draft, we will turn them into a Canadian. That way our team is able to get better and not just run with the same old boring roster. I feel like this will make the video a little bit more interesting, but now let's see how we do here in the NBA Finals. Game number 1, we do end up losing 134 to 121. Can we at least win game 2? And no, we cannot. We also fall short here, 108 to 91. This is exactly why I wanted to do the thing I said about the rookies, because our team needs to get a little bit better. Otherwise, we're going to continue running with the same exact roster. Game number 3, thankfully we do go on to win 120-99. Shea with 28, 19 from Dillon Brooks. Can we tap the series? And yes, we can. We go on to win here 125-99. Jamal Murray dropping 40 points, hitting all 8 of his 8 3-pointers attempted. Let's go. And now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Hopefully we're able to go up 3-2. That would be phenomenal. We do have home court advantage on our side. And so far we are getting blown out here, and it looks like we are going to be losing 147-122. Horrible defense from our side. Are we going to be able to push this to a game 7? The Spurs do have home court advantage. And so far we have the lead. It looks like we may be able to push to a game 7, and yes, we are. Shea drops 27 points, 19 from Brooks, and 17 from Jamal Murray. Now it is time for game 7, winner go home situation. It all comes down to this. We will have home court advantage on our side. We do start off the first half pretty strong, but they take the lead right back from us. Now they're up 6 points, 12 minutes remaining. Can we come back? And sadly, we do end up getting eliminated in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And just like that, the San Antonio Spurs go on to win the championship with Victor Wembanyama winning Finals MVP. But don't you guys worry, this is the exact reason I decided to make that rule change. Now we're able to draft ourselves any rookie and make them into a Canadian. And I think we're going to go after this dude here, Conrad Tiggs, the 7-foot big man, all NBA ceiling. Or we could even target this dude here who's a power forward. It does not show us his ceiling, but both players will be able to contribute to our future. The Denver Nuggets do end up with the first overall pick, but now we're going to go and try and acquire that pick for ourselves. We're going to talk with the Nuggets and try and trade for that. That way we're able to draft ourselves the Conrad Tiggs dude. We are talking with the Denver Nuggets for the first overall pick. I'm offering them a bunch of first rounders. What will they say? And they decline. What if we throw in a second round pick as well? And they're still not budging. What I am going to do is throw in a player like Will Hardy, but then I will go and trade back for Will Hardy with a bunch of picks that I acquire from signing and trading players in free agency. And whoa, they're still not budging at all. Okay, I thought that would have been able to make this happen. But clearly that's not the case. What if we throw in 2 players? Okay, so we do end up with a first overall pick. Don't you guys worry, the players I did trade, I will be bringing back. And now let's go to the NBA draft and go ahead and draft ourselves the highest overall player. I think getting ourselves Conrad Tiggs will be huge. We have been needing some center depth. He's a 7-foot big man, should be able to help out our team. Plus, he's only going to continue getting better each offseason. He is 21 years old. We could also draft this dude here, but honestly right now what we most need is a center. So I'm going to go ahead and take Conrad Tiggs with the first overall pick. And wait a second, we also have ourselves another first round pick, which I completely forgot about, the 29th overall pick and 2 second rounders. And honestly, there's not many good players left on the draft board, so we're going to go ahead and trade our 3 picks to the Chicago Bulls, where we get their 2028 first rounder. And the Chicago Bulls are sometimes a bad team, so if they play bad, hopefully that ends up being a lottery pick. But that's the only person we're going to be drafting ourselves, Conrad Tiggs. And there we go, the player we drafted, Conrad Tiggs, we have officially made him into a Canadian. And I did also bring back Will Riley. We were only able to bring back 1 player since we now drafted Conrad Tiggs, but now we have a full roster of 15 Canadians. Another thing I did is signed a bunch of free agents, traded them away, and stocked up on a bunch of first round picks. As you guys can see, this will give us the opportunity to draft some more young future rookies if we feel like we need to, and turn them into Canadians as well. We are here at Player Progression Day, and this is why I wanted to be able to draft ourselves some young rookies, computer-generated rookies, and turn them into Canadians, because our progression is going to plateau, and eventually players are going to continue getting worse. But if we're able to bring in new rookies in the lottery pick, they're only going to continue getting better, and in return, that's going to make our team better. We are ready to start out this season, and this is going to be our rotation. It does look like the CPU wants us to start RJ Barrett over Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and I am going to give this lineup a try. In our starting lineup, we have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Dillon Brooks, and Zach Edey. And then off the bench, we have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Conrad Tiggs, Shaedon Sharpe, Benedict Mathurin, and Keyshawn George. Let's simulate the first few games, the first few weeks, to see how our team does, and it looks like we are winning some games, but we're still hovering about 500. Actually, never mind, we have 5 wins and 3 losses. There we go, the chemistry is being built, and now we haven't lost a single game since November 2nd. This season, our team is rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, balanced under Michael Stoffer, so it does look like our starting lineup has gotten better. And now I will be simulating until the end of this season, where hopefully we can go on to win a championship in the playoffs. This season our team has made it to the NBA Cup Finals and we are taking on the San Antonio Spurs, the same team that eliminated us in the NBA Finals, so hopefully we're able to get our get back and also win ourselves an NBA Cup. We do have home court advantage on our side, and so far we have the lead here by quite a bit, and it looks like we will be winning 163 to 115. Holy, our offense was elite. Shea had himself a 29-point double-double, 29 from Barrett, and 26 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins NBA Cup MVP, averaging 24 points per game with 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, while shooting 56% from the field. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win an MVP, Randy Carter wins Rookie of the Year, Ryan Rollins Sixth-Man Defensive Player of the Year goes to Wemby, Kasparis wins Most Improved, Paolo Banchero Clutch Player, Michael Stauffer, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year, and the Spurs win Executive. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections. We do land Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on All-NBA third team. Do we get anybody here on All-Defensive team? No, we do not, but we do get our rookie, Conrad Tiggs, on All-Rookie first team. And we ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 65 games and losing only 17. In the last 3 seasons, our team has been doing really good in the regular season, but come playoff time, we choke, so hopefully this is not the case once again. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at player stats. So our leading scorer was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging 26 points per game. 18 from Murray, 13 from Nickeil, 11.5 from Benedict Mathurin, 11 from Brooks, 10.5 from Shaedon Sharpe, 10.5 from RJ Barrett. And for our team stats, we had the 4th best offensive rating, and then the 3rd best defensive rating, and the number 1 best point differential. Let's see how we do here in the first round of the playoffs. We are taking on the Boston Celtics. It looks like they no longer have, okay, they do have Jaylen Brown. They're just running him at that 2. They do still have Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Koa Pete, Jason Tatum, and Quetta. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Shai dropping 27, 18 from Nickeil. Game number 2, we do fall short. Game 3, we win. Game 4, we lose. And now I'm going to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I do not want to risk it. Let me lock our best defenders on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and then we'll continue to game 5. We have now come up with a defensive coach game plan. I also fixed up the player minutes. Will that help us win here in game 5? We do have home court advantage on our side, and so far we do have the lead. Can we keep it? And yes, we can. We go on to win 130 to 109. Shai dropped 25, 25 from Murray, and 15 from RJ Barrett. Let's see if we're able to close things out here in game 6. We do have the lead. The Celtics take it right back from us, but we end up winning eventually with 118, and they had 112. Nickeil Alexander-Walker led the way here with 27 points, followed by 19 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we are taking on the Detroit Pistons. They have themselves Cade Cunningham, Colin Sexton, Kevin Durant, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. It looks like they signed KD in free agency from the looks of things, so let's see how things go. We do go on to win game 1, 39 from Shai, 19 from Murray. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Shai with 27, 22 from Dillon Brooks. Can we also win game 3? No, we can't. Looks like the Pistons do win game 3, but we win game 4. And we go on a gentleman sweep, the Detroit Pistons, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Shai here in the playoffs is averaging 24 points per game, 18.5 from Murray, 15 from Naw, 13 from Brooks, and 10 from Conrad Tiggs. We are starting Conrad Tiggs, and that's because Zach Edey has been playing awful here in the playoffs. Bro is shooting 35% from the field. I'm not sure how you're 7'4" shooting that horrible from the field, but he is. Now let's see which team we're taking on. So we are going up against the New York Knicks here. They have the same exact starting lineup. Let's get to simulating. Game number 1, we do go on to win. We lose game 2, we win game 3, we win game 4, and we do not gentleman sweep them, but we do go on to win in game 6. And of course, it's going to be a rematch of last year's NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama, Western Conference Finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 28 points per game. And honestly, I was hoping another team could have handled the Spurs for us, so we could have made it to the NBA Finals and took on an easier opponent, but of course, it will be the Spurs. They have themselves Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Dean Wade, and Victor Wembanyama. They also have an 89 overall De'Aaron Fox as their 6th man. This is going to be a tough challenge. Game number 1, we do go on to win, thankfully. 24 from Murray, 17 from Shai. Shai did foul out, but somehow we still win this game. Game number 2, we do win as well, putting us up 2-0. Shea had 28, 15 from Na. And if we go up 3-0, that is going to be huge. And that is exactly what happened. We win game 3, 117-98. Shea had himself 26, 24 from Na. And are we going to sweep the Spurs? Yes, we are. We go on to win the Toronto Raptors a championship with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning Finals MVP. And we are not finished with just one championship. We're going to try and run it back and win ourselves a back-to-back championship. Took us this long to win ourselves one championship. Might as well go for the number 2. And I have a feeling we could win ourselves a back-to-back championship. Let's take a look at the player stats before we go into the off season. So we played a total of 21 games here. Shea was averaging 25, 18 from Murray, 14 from Na, 12 from RJ Barrett, and 12 from Dillon Brooks. And our rookie Conrad Tiggs is going to progress a ton this offseason, which is going to be huge for our team's success going into the future. He may be our starting center in this up and coming season, but now I'm going to go ahead and simulate past the offseason because I'm not going to be making any changes to our roster, and then I'll see you guys at the beginning of the up and coming season. And never mind, I'm not seeing you guys at the beginning of the up and coming season, and that's because we just ended up with a first overall pick in the 2028 draft lottery. This is insane. I was not expecting it, but somehow we ended up with it. It looks like it was via, we were projected to get the first overall pick via the Chicago Bulls, but somehow the pick that was projected with the 7th best odds jumped all the way to pick number 1 via Milwaukee. It is now time for the 2028 NBA draft, and I already know which player we're going to be drafting. I already went ahead and changed his country to Canada, which means he's a Canadian. And now let me show you guys which player we're going to be drafting. It would have made most sense for us to draft this dude here, Dexter Carson, but we already have ourselves a good center rotation. So what we're going to do is draft this dude here, Barney Woodson, who's already an 83 overall. He could help us win now. He's a good defender, he can hit the three-pointer, and I believe I'm going to make him into our starting power forward right off of the bat. So let's go ahead and draft Barney Woodson out of Canada. We are here at the start of this season, and this is what the brand new rotation will be looking like. In our starting lineup, we currently have ourselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Barney Woodson, Conrad Tiggs, and then off the bench, we have Shaedon Sharpe, Zach Edey, Dillon Brooks, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Keyshawn George. I do feel like we're on pace to win ourselves a back-to-back championship. Let's take a look at system proficiency. We are rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Michael Stauffer. If Conrad Tiggs or the rookie Woodson does not play good, we could always sub them out for one of the players we've had in the starting role in the past, but this is the lineup we will be rolling with. And now I'll see you guys at the end of this season. We have one game remaining to our season, and it looks like we're going to be able to win Shai Gilgeous-Alexander an MVP in this video, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And yes, we do. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes on to win an MVP, averaging 29 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block on 50, 40, 88 shooting splits. And that is absolutely amazing. I did not think we were going to be able to win him an MVP throughout this video, but thankfully we did. Dexter Carson wins Rookie of the Year. This dude here wins 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player. Chris Knack Jr. wins Most Improved. AJ Devonta Clutch Player. Michael Stauffer, our head coach, goes on to win Coach of the Year. And the Blazers win Executive. Of course, we get the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, on an All-NBA First Team. Do we have any more awards here? And it looks like we do not. Do we get anyone here on an All-Rookie Team? Yes, we do. So our rookie, Barney Woodson, does make it on an All-Rookie First Team. And we ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 71 games and losing only 11. We were absolutely unstoppable, and I smell ourselves a back-to-back championship. Let's take a look at the player stats before we jump into the playoffs. So our leading scorer was Shai, averaging 29, 24 from Murray, 12 from RJ Barrett, 11 from Nickeil, 11 from Barney. A lot of players here in double-digit scoring, as you guys can see. And this season, we had the number 1 best offensive rating and the best defensive rating, as well as the best point differential with 20.5 point differential. That is insane. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we're taking on the New York Knicks. They have the same starting lineup: Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. Let's see if we're able to defeat the New York Knicks here in the first round. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Murray with 37, 20 and 10 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Game number 2, we also go on to win. We win game 3, and we sweep the New York Knicks. Shea so far is averaging 28, 23 from Murray, and 14 from RJ Barrett. How's the rookie Barney doing? He is playing pretty well. I mean, he's not scoring all that much, but his efficiency is amazing. And Conrad Tiggs has been playing pretty well. He's a floor spacing big man, which is pretty huge. And now in the second round, we are taking on the Brooklyn Nets, and they have themselves Scoot Henderson, Jaeger Demon, Taylor Hendricks, Kristanak Jr., and Nikola Jokic. Any team with Nikola Jokic is of course a threat, so let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning 30 from Shea, 23 from Murray. Game number 2, we also win. We win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Brooklyn Nets. So far here, we have not lost a single game in the playoffs. In the Eastern Conference Finals, we are taking on the Pistons, who have themselves Cade, Cullen, Courtney, Zion Williamson, and Jalen Duren. It looks like the Pistons picked up Zion Williamson or traded for him, one or the other. And holy, bro is averaging 31 points per game. Okay. Game number 1, we do end up losing. We win game 2. We win game 3. We do lose game 4. And now what I'm going to do is come up with a defensive coach game plan because I don't want to risk it. Alrighty, I have now come up with the defensive coach game plan. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's jump into Simcast here and see what happens. We do have home court advantage on our side. We start off the first half really strong, and it looks like we are going to be winning 144 to 105. Shea dropped 36, 23 from Murray, and 20 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and our defense was amazing. We held Cade Cunningham to 8 of 22, and Zion still did his thing, but thankfully we still walked away here with a win. Can we close things out here in game 6? The Pistons will have home court advantage, and so far it's a back and forth battle, but it looks like we will be winning 137 to 107. Murray with 25, 24 from Shea, and once again we win this game. And just like that, we have made it to the NBA Finals for the 3rd year in a row. It looks like we're either going to have to take on the Portland Trail Blazers or the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it will be the Portland Trail Blazers. Deni Avdija wins Western Conference Finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And let's take a look at the Blazers team before we start simulating here in the playoffs, in the NBA Finals, and they were the number 1 seed. They have our former player Emmanuel Quickley. They also have Kingston Flemings, Deni Avdija, Jeremy Sohan, and Donovan Clingan, and this is their bench unit. They do also have Colin Murray-Boyles coming off their bench unit, Dyson Daniels. Pretty stacked team, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Shea dropping 31, 16 from Woodson. Game number 2, we do fall short here, 125 to 105. Game 3, we also fall short, and now this is where I'm going to come up with a defensive coach game plan. We have come up with a defensive coach game plan. I also fixed up some of our player minutes. Let's see if we could tie up this series. The Blazers do have home court advantage for this game, and so far we do have the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 116 to 87. So the defensive coach game plan clearly worked. 28 from Murray, 24 and 10 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Can we win game 5 to go up 3-2? We do have home court advantage on our side, but so far the Blazers do have the lead, and it looks like we are going to be losing. We almost came back in the 4th quarter, but sadly we were not able to. We are in a winner go home situation. We have to win this game to push it to a game 7, and the Blazers will have home court advantage. So far, we do have the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 123 to 104. Nickeil had 26, 22 from Murray, and how was our defense? Deni Avdija still played really good, but thankfully we were able to pick up the win. And it all comes down to this. I believe this is our 2nd time being in the NBA Finals in a Game 7 situation. Can we win this time? Last time we did end up losing, I believe, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, or no, it was to the San Antonio Spurs. We do have home court advantage on our side, and so far we have the lead. They are kind of pushing back here in the second half, but it looks like we will be winning a back-to-back championship, winning here 114 to 96. RJ Barrett led the way with 21, 20 from Shea, and 20 from our rookie Woodson. And just like that, we win the Toronto Raptors a back-to-back championship with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning Finals MVP. And before I end out this video, let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 21 games, and in those 21 games, Shai was our leading scorer, averaging 26 points per game, 21 from Murray, and a bunch more players in double-digit scoring. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 7 games. In those 7 games, Shai was the leading scorer, once again averaging 21 points per game. 19 from Murray, 13 from Woodson, and 13 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And that is going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos, and hype the video. So go ahead and hit all 3 buttons. It really does support out the channel a ton, and click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.